Okay, so let's see. I'm going to turn this around. You'll have to excuse me, everybody. This is my absolute first time vlogging ever, especially live. This is really weird. You guys out there, you can hear me? Welcome to everyone who volunteered to participate today. My name is Leanna Mullen. For those who are being very supportive here around South New Jersey, thank you very much for tuning in. And for those across the country who decided to give this a try tonight, I really appreciate you giving this a shot because this is very, very new and very strange to me. So if you've done a little bit of reading at all about what I'm hoping to start vlogging about, you know that the real goal is to start doing discussions on rare diseases. And what I mean by discussion is I really don't want this to be just me. I really want you guys to feel free to text me. And you can actually do that. There's a little comment area like down at the bottom, somewhere around here, I think. I don't know. That's what I've been told. At least that's what I'm getting on my view. So any messages you send, I'm actually going to be able to see them. And I'll be able to respond to them. So I'll just keep kind of coming in and out and checking to see who's out there. If you're not comfortable doing it that way, feel free to use the Twitter hashtag, which is rare15chat. Really just, this is all an experiment right now, so just kind of bear with me. And tonight's going to be super informal because I really just want to see who's going to be out there, who's going to be logging in, and kind of get a feel of what you guys are hoping this program is going to be. So again, for those who do not know me, my name is Leanna Mullen, and I am a TV station manager at Egg Harbor Township High School, and I also own a video production company. That just was ironic. I didn't mean to dress like that today. But anyway, I also have Gaucher disease, which is a rare genetic disorder. And that was really what propelled me to want to do this broadcast, because I can guarantee the majority of the people who, unless you have a family member with Gaucher disease, you probably never heard of it. And that's really ironic because 1 in 10 people have a rare disease. And that's not an exaggeration. It's a real statistic. 1 in 10 people in the United States have a rare disease. And they're all different. There's like 700 rare diseases, but they're like, none of them happen to know about the other. And I know firsthand that I only know about a handful. But when I went to Capitol Hill earlier this year, back in February, I got to meet people even within my state who had rare diseases that I didn't know about. And I thought this would be a really great platform for people to kind of bring out what their rare diseases are and, you know, what the challenges are of having rare diseases. Also, you know, it doesn't have to just be me talking. It can be you guys. So again, if you're just tuning in, you can feel free to comment. I'm actually going to check my messages in just a second. I see it's kind of like blue, blue, blue. I got a whole bunch of people. That's awesome. I love that you guys are tuning in. That's really encouraging. So anyway, so tonight again is really just to set a platform to get to see who's interested in doing videos like this, who would be interested in being part of this conversation. And then also, so it doesn't have to just be about Gaucher disease, because again, you know, that's what I'm most familiar with, but I really want to kind of turn tables and get the conversation with you guys. So if you happen to know anybody who would be really good for me to either get in touch with, if they don't feel comfortable doing things live, which I can't say I'm really even that comfortable doing this live. I'm like looking at this ticker like, holy crap, you guys are all watching right now, and it's mind blowing. So anyway, so I'm just gonna check my messages real quick. So hang tight if there's anything you want to post while I'm doing this. It takes me a couple seconds. I'm a little slow, so hold on. Hi, friends. We got California, got New Jersey. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're here. So somebody asked out there about NORD and if it's helped me in any way, which let me see if I can go back. Sorry, little technical errors here until I get used to this. There we go. I haven't had a whole lot of direct relation with them, but I did have a broadcast that I did with PBS back in 2015, I think was the anniversary of the Orphan Drug Act. And Gaucher, among several others, actually, because of the Orphan Drug Act, I was able to have a treatment. So I didn't know it back then because it was 25 years ago and I wasn't diagnosed at that point. But ultimately, it was because of their efforts that I'm actually physically here right now. So While I don't have a direct connection with them, I can say again that it's what they've done. So, also National Institutes of Health, NIH, and just smaller groups like the National Gaucher Foundation and some of the pharmaceutical companies have really made it a point that it's worthwhile to get on board and try to, if they can't find cures, which are not at that point yet for most rare diseases, at least they can find treatment and help those who are in need. So, and with that being said, Gaucher is very, very lucky because as rare as it is, there's several different treatments available, but there's also lots of diseases and genetic disorders that don't have any treatment. And that's kind of another point of why I wanted to do these kind of broadcasts, is to kind of bring an awareness to that for those who, really have no other outlet, because I've met people with Gaucher all over the country who didn't even know that there were anybody else with Gaucher. I mean, it kind of seems ironic, but it's true. If there's no one around you, even if it's a genetic disorder and it's not in your family, because it's not in my family, you really have to go out of your way to find people. And then you have to try to educate every doctor that you run into. And it's just an ongoing struggle. And I think that if we can kind of make that world a little bit smaller by being on ZubiaLive and having discussions like this and bringing more people to the table, that maybe you make the world a little smaller. So let me just continue to check my messages here. Oh, so people are asking me what Gaucher is. So that's an interesting question. I probably should explain that a little bit more. I will actually, that'll be the main topic for next week if you're interested in tuning in, because I really want to go more in depth than I'm probably going to just brush on right now. So Gaucher disease is a autosomal recessive lysosomal storage disorder. And if I said that way too fast, it's okay. I'll slow down. Autosomal recessive lysosomal storage disorder. So that means that both my parents had to be carriers in order to pass the disease on, which is, again, really weird because no one in my family that we know of has Gaucher disease. But what essentially it does is within the cells, if you had like biology in 9th grade and you learned that like the lysosomes and the enzymes kind of like break down the fat that's in the cells and lipids and storage, and it kind of gets the cell to, it's kind of like its own recycling center within the cell. If you don't have enough of an enzyme, it actually will store up and the cells within them will start to swell. It doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but it actually can make your spleen enlarged, which my spleen was 7 times larger than it's supposed to be. My liver's enlarged. I have some issues with my kidneys as well. For me, it doesn't affect it too badly. I do have it in my bones a little bit within my bone marrow because the cells have expanded so much it's like eating away at the bone marrow. So it's in my lower back for that. But there's people I've met who they could be walking down the street and they can literally break their leg because their bones are just so brittle, like old 90-year-old bones, that they have like no substance to them. So, and then there's other types of Gaucher as well. There's type 2 and type 3, which are also neurological, because in that same idea that they can't break down the lipids inside the cells, it actually goes to their brain and that can cause neurological problems. For type 2, they don't even live past 2 or 3 years old. So I'm really very fortunate that way, that while I've had my ups and downs and I've been in a wheelchair before, I'm on treatment now and I'm very healthy. And that's, again, part of the reason why I wanted to do something like this, because I think there's a lot of hidden diseases. People wouldn't know that I have to receive a treatment every 2 weeks in order to be this healthy. But, that's kind of why this is a really cool outlet. So let me see what other messages I have here. The main foundation I got for help going through my diseases from Happy Life. So I found out when I was in 8th grade what my diagnosis was, and it was a really long journey getting to that. I don't really want to bore you with that in this episode, but ultimately the National Gaucher Foundation has been incredibly helpful, even for the period of time when there wasn't an option for getting health insurance in the United States if you weren't in a job. And again, very long story, I'll save for another time, but they were really super supportive in making sure I continued to get my treatment. And if you happen to have Gaucher and you're listening to this, you know that there was a period of time that treatment was not available in the recent years. And so they were also really helpful making sure that I got the tests I needed to get and any other kind of moral support in a lot of ways. I also produced a PSA for them back a couple years ago, and as a result of my PSA video, we had over 30,000 views. And I think that's really, really awesome because, again, I get a lot of messages from people saying, you don't look like you're sick. And it's like, I know, but there's lots of people who really, really, really are sick, and I'm not that bad. But if you just knew a handful of people, you would totally understand, like, it's crazy. So just trying to be a support for others. And let me see if I can we'll get to one more message for now, and I'll probably continue the information or conversation online. Let's see. What are some of the biggest challenges facing people with rare diseases? That's a whole conversation in itself. I think the biggest problem is people don't know what the diseases are to even get started, to get treatment, to get support from each other. Because I'm sure, like me, I end up having to re-explain every single time what my disease is and what does it mean, and does that mean I'm allergic to this, and does that mean I can't eat certain foods? And you're just constantly explaining to people because they just don't get it. My favorite thing is anytime I go to a hospital in Philadelphia, which is the closest major city from here, I'm like the experiment that all the interns and health professionals are like, come here, let's talk to this girl. She's really good for your writing assignment for your fellowship. And it's like, oh, great, here we go. And I'm sure that's the same for lots of people with rare diseases. They were just so strange, and there's so few of us, and it's like, like we're an exotic animal or something. But really, in the long run, we're just, we're people too. And so I'm kind of rambling on. I really wanted to finish this up in 15 minutes. That's why I called it Rare 15. And I got like a minute left in my head. So with that being said, I really just wanted to start with putting this on the table, laying it all out, letting you know that we're going to continue this conversation on Twitter with hashtag Rare15chat. I'll put the graphic up before I exit out. And I know this is a little bit of a crude presentation. I have a couple of my now graduated students who are watching. Congratulations to class of 2017. I see you on there. But more importantly, I just wanted to start out showing you what we can do here on ZubiaLive, and hopefully we can get some more people to watch this program and give me this feedback. Then we'll continue to do episodes like this and bring in other rare diseases too. So that's really where I want this to go. Next week, we'll talk about Gaucher disease. I've had a conversation with some people on Facebook who told me some of the topics they'd love to see us go over. So I definitely took note of that, and I'm prepared to talk more about that next time. But if you guys have any questions in between, or if you know someone who we can talk to, that would be really good to put a face to whatever their rare disease or genetic disorder is, please let me know. For now, just again, if you have any other questions or concerns or things like that, I'm going to go back to my little slideshow, leave this up here, and turn this around. Go back. There we go. So like what you see, make sure you subscribe to the next one, which will be next Wednesday, went away, the 28th at 8:00 p.m. same time. And feel free to email me or continue the conversation on Twitter. All right. Thank you guys so much. And I'll talk to you soon.